Today the topic is wireless earbud reviews, and I'm going to review the Edifier's W240TN. Let's go. Okay, so let's start our review of the Edifier W240TN earbuds. Okay, first off, a small disclaimer. This is not a paid review, okay? I bought these earbuds with my own money. Edifier has nothing to do with this review whatsoever, okay? That being said, Edifier, as a brand, it has a good reputation in the audio world. Okay, they have very good audio products, and this, in terms of sound, is no exception. Okay, the sound is excellent. Okay, so let's go through the specifications and let's do a preliminary analysis on them. In terms of drivers, they have a dual dynamic driver setup, 10 millimeters and 6 millimeters. Okay, 10 millimeters for the bass and 6 millimeters for the remaining frequencies. Okay, so right off the bat, they have the potential to have better sound quality than an earbud with a single driver setup. In terms of frequency ranges, they have a reproduction range of 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So the standard coverage of the human hearing spectrum. Okay. In terms of Bluetooth, this is supporting Bluetooth 5.3, so it's the latest version. It's always a good thing. Okay. In terms of codecs, audio codecs, SBC only. I had to go back and read this twice. SBC only in 2023. That can't be right. It is. Okay, no AAC, no LDAC, no aptX, only SBC, which unfortunately is although it is a standard codec, it is the weakest codec of all in terms of audio quality and latency. Okay. Next, controls. These are button controls. Okay, instead of capacitive touch controls, these are button controls, physical button. This little guy here. Okay, you press it. Okay, this has advantages and disadvantages. Okay, for instance, you can wear gloves and still register the controls. Although when you are pressing it against your ear canal, so it can hurt a little bit. Okay, so that's the major downside of this setup. Battery life: 8.5 hours on the earbuds, 17 hours in the case. Okay, in terms of the earbuds, 8.5 hours, it's very good. Okay, earbuds usually have around 6.5 hours, so anything above that is good. 8.5 hours, it's very good. Okay. But the case, 17 hours, that's low. That's really low. Okay, usually you have like 25, 26 hours in the case at least. 17 hours, very low. Okay. In terms of charging, okay, this does support fast charging, so 10 minutes will give you 2 hours of runtime, but it only charges via USB-C. Okay, no wireless charging in these. They do support the mysterious gaming mode, the low latency mode. Okay, probably at the cost of sound quality or extra battery consumption. Unfortunately, Edifier does not explicitly clears up what's the downside of enabling gaming mode. Okay, neither Edifier nor the other brands that I'm aware of. Next, multi-point support. It doesn't have it, so it can only be connected with one device at the same time. And finally, the IP protection. This is actually above average. Okay, it's an IP55 instead of IPX4, which is usually common among these kinds of true wireless earbuds. Okay, so they have some dust protection as well, and also protection against water jets. Okay, instead of just light splashes or sweat. So improved IP protection is present on these. Now that we have looked at the specifications and done a preliminary analysis, let's go ahead and take a look at our proper sound review, okay? And for that, we have our table here, and we will start with the first aspect, the most important one, sound quality, okay? Which in this case, it's an 8 out of 10, okay? It's excellent. Excellent sound on these, no question, okay? Excellent for any kind of music. All frequencies are well defined and balanced. It's a more neutral profile, okay? But it's easily correctable in the app's EQ. For those of you who like more of a V shape with more bass and more treble, okay? But it's a very good, clean sound profile. I like it, okay? Next aspect, comfort. It's a 7 out of 10, okay? It's good. I wish they would be more comfortable, okay? They don't grip that well in my particular case. Of course, this is very subjective, but in my particular case, they don't grip all that well, but they are comfortable, okay? But they could be more. You can train with them, run with them, okay? It has that IP55 protection rating. They do stick out a little bit more than usual from the ear, but that's not really a big issue, okay? Other than you cannot use them for side sleeping, okay? Or at least I wouldn't recommend it. Downsides regarding comfort. They don't always fit well at the first try, okay, in the case. They don't save the previous ANC state they had when you put them in the case. For instance, myself, I always use my wireless earbuds with no ANC. And with these guys, I have to, every time I take them out, I have to turn off the ANC, because when I put them back in the case and I close it and I open it and I take them back out, ANC is on again. That's really annoying, okay? And finally, the physical button controls, they do hurt my ears a little bit when I'm pushing the button, okay? That's comfort. Next, we have volume, 7 out of 10. So it's good. It has some wiggle room, okay? But I wish it had a little bit more on the volume department, okay? It is sufficient, okay? But there are competitors with much more headroom than this. Oh, by the way, if you're liking the video, help a guy out. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button, okay? Thanks. Back to the video. Next, battery life. It's a 6 out of 10, okay? As we already seen, 8.5 hours on the earbuds themselves, it's very good, but 17 hours in the case, it's very low, really low, okay? Next, ANC, it's a 6 out of 10, okay? It's just satisfactory, I would say. So small background noises like air conditioning or my 3D printer back there, they are usually very well handled, but loud environments will continue to be quite loud. Next aspect, ear tip replacement. It's a 7 out of 10, okay? So these are oval ear tips, okay? Which, in my opinion, makes acquiring aftermarket ear tips harder than the round canal, okay? And another problem is that the case doesn't accept bigger ear tips or deeper ear tips than these, okay? It won't close, okay? When you put it back in, it will remain slightly open. I've tried it, wouldn't work. So it's a 7 out of 10, okay? Now let me put the ear tip back in. Done. Next aspect, we have personalized EQ. So it's a 7 out of 10, okay? It's a good EQ, but it's not great, okay? It only has 2 presets, classic and dynamic, okay? They are not really that much different. The dynamic is kind of a V shape, but with much sibilance in the treble, so I don't like the dynamic one. The classic one, the flat one, it's okay, but I do need to have a custom EQ here. Unfortunately, the custom EQ only has 4 bands, okay, where other competitors have 8 or even 10 bands. Although this one we can choose exactly which frequency to assign to each band, okay? So that's a plus. Unfortunately, only 4 bands. For me, it's not enough to properly EQ these as I would like. Next aspect, control usability and range. It's a 5 out of 10, okay? Very basic. The controls are very responsive, okay, and that's a plus from it being a button instead of touch. But unfortunately, it only allows you to control 4 functions, okay, in which both buttons do exactly the same function, and you cannot deviate from this. For instance, if you are using a double click on the earbuds to turn up the volume, it will turn up the volume on both buttons. You cannot assign a volume up and a volume down. For me, that doesn't make any sense, okay? It does support click, double click, triple click, and hold, okay? Next aspect, high resolution codecs, 0 out of 10. It doesn't have any, okay? In fact, it doesn't have anything besides SBC, which in 2023, I wasn't expecting it at all. I was kind of shocked. Next aspect, multi-point connectivity. It doesn't have it, 0 out of 10, okay? It can only be connected to one device at the same time. Next aspect, gaming mode, okay? So the low latency mode. It's an 8 out of 10. It works fine. It does support the dedicated low latency mode. In my perception, I didn't notice any latency, okay? But full disclaimer, I haven't done any high-level analytical testing measuring milliseconds and stuff like that. I just used my personal perception because in this case that for me makes more sense. The only downside is, as I already said, it will surely sacrifice audio quality or battery life or both. Next aspect, control customization. It's a 5 out of 10, okay? It's a basic customization, okay? As we already saw, you are forced to use the same command on both buttons, okay, on the left and on the right. So if you choose volume up, you have to use volume up on both. If you choose volume down, you have to use volume down on both. That for me doesn't make any sense, as I already said, okay? And the one click is fixed. It's for play pause and you cannot change it, okay? So it's a 5 out of 10. Next up, fast charging. It's an 8 out of 10, okay? So it's the standard fast charge. 10 minutes equals 2 hours of battery life, which is pretty good. Next aspect, we have Find My Earbuds or Find My Device. 0 out of 10. This doesn't have it, okay? So that feature where you can go to your app and put them in a ringing state so that you can find them under your pillow or something like that. This doesn't have that feature. Next aspect, in-ear detection. Okay, this doesn't have it as well. So in-ear detection is that feature where you can take the earbud out of your ear and it will automatically pause the music for you, and when you put it on it will resume it automatically. This doesn't have that feature. And finally, wireless charging. No wireless charging on board here. It's only via USB-C. Okay, so that's the sound evaluation done, the listening score. Now on to the microphone evaluation, which only has one aspect, the microphone quality and call quality. And in this case, it's a 6 out of 10, okay? I always test this with ambient noise and with wind simulated by fans, okay? And this really is one of the weak spots of these earbuds, okay? The microphone works well in well-controlled environments, but with wind and background noise, you hardly are able to communicate, unfortunately. Okay, on to the final score and recommendation. So, in the case of the Edifier's W240TN, in terms of listening score, we have 691 out of 10, which is not great for earbuds that do sound excellent. Okay, I want to make that perfectly clear. The sound on these is excellent. Unfortunately, the other features are far from it. In terms of microphone, it's a 6 out of 10. Okay, so it's clearly the weakest point of this these earbuds. And in terms of quality price relationship, okay, I got them at 51 euros, okay, in a promotion. And that gives us, dividing 51 by 691, that gives us a cost per quality of 7.38 euros per quality point in the audio department or in the sound department, and 8.50 on the microphone department, okay? Which, if you compare to other offerings, it's not great, okay? It's not. And this gets worse because 51 euros, it's a very special price that I was able to get, I think, on Black Friday or something like that, because usually they sell for around 80 euros. And at 80 euros, the quality price relationship reduces drastically, okay? So it's 11.58 euros that you have to pay per sound quality and 13.33 per microphone quality, okay? So unfortunately for these, although they do sound excellent, okay, for the price you have better options in my opinion. And that's it. I hope this was useful to you. Please leave your feedback and share your ideas and opinions in the comments. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest videos, you can subscribe to the channel and click that like button. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.